Hello and welcome to another in our interview series of interviewing people from the management team. I'm Dawn Campbell, your host, and today I'm joined by the lovely Sue Hedley. Hello, Sue.
Hi, Dawn. Lovely to
You'll
be here
see,
with you.
yeah, lovely to see you as well. You'll see we're both wearing scarves because it's a little bit chilly. It's not often I say that in sunny Marbella, but we are having a really cold spell. So Sue and I have been on a journey for about a year or more, working very closely together. So I feel I know Sue quite well. But these interviews are an opportunity for you, the members, to know who is in the management team, who is supporting us. So before we get into that, I always like to start by finding out a little bit more about the person behind the coaching image and start with a good transpersonal question about what fills your heart with joy outside of work, Sue, if you'd like to share
Oh,
something.
gosh, that's a good question. I think the honest answer to that is outside of work, it's got to be family and friends.
Mm,
You know, um, got three wonderful boys who I'm extremely proud of, who are all out in the world doing good things. Yeah, and also because I live in a wonderful part of the world, Snowdonia in North Wales in the UK.
lucky.
Just looking out of my back door at the mountains in the very distant background, and the scenery. That's also something that just fills me with joy. I feel so lucky every day when I get, even if it's raining, which it does quite a lot up here.
Mm.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I'm interviewing coaches all the time from all around the world, that things that they say that they do to keep themselves grounded and nurtured, very, very
Mm,
similar. We all want to be in nature. We all want to be by the sea, have the mountains, go for a walk with our dogs.
mm,
We're not so terribly different all around the world.
that-
And I find that really interesting that we actually like the simplicity of life outside of work.
yeah, I think that's really interesting too. I recently had to go down to London over Christmas, and I hadn't been to London for quite a while. And I was just so shocked as we drove into London because there was nothing, there was buildings and parks and people and everybody rushing around. And I suddenly realized I couldn't live removed from nature anymore. I was just puzzled at how people can live like that. And obviously they're all very happy and they're living their lives, but it
Mm.
felt very foreign, quite a
Mm.
quite a shock to the system.
Yes, yeah. No, I can totally get that. Because when we live in the country, I've got the mountains behind me and the sea in front. It's different every day. The color of
Mm,
the sky makes the mountains look purple. You might have
yeah.
snow on them. They might be very green. We've got lots of volcanic mountains further that side. It's different every day depending on the
Mm,
weather. And of course, when you live in a concrete city like London,
yeah.
Barcelona,
Mm,
Paris, wherever, uh, it's pretty much the same all the time, I would have thought. And it's so
yeah.
dirty and noisy. It's a
Yeah.
real sensory overload, I think. I used to work in London. I had 2 years working in London. And now I would say wild horses wouldn't drag me there. Um,
Yeah.
but people who are in London, who don't have a car, perhaps don't have a family,
Mm,
work and live in London, go to the gym, all those things are on their doorstep. They love it. And I think it's a
yeah.
place for the young.
I would agree with that. Yes, absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely. But what I like about being near the mountains and the sea and all those things is it gives me a sense of proportion. It's like, these things are going to go on for, hopefully anyway, climate change allowing, going on for a long, long time. And
yes.
it kind of just helps me to stay grounded because I'm not, I'm kind of I don't have a kind of an overestimated sense of my own importance somehow, it puts everything into perspective. So that's the other thing that
It
I love. And
does.
I can't find that when I'm in a city.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the other thing is when you open your door, you stand on your terrace, go in the garden, and you've got those kind of views, as you say, it gives you perspective, but it also makes you appreciate what is real in
mm,
life and the
mm,
temporary nature of it, because you see the seasons changing,
mm,
etc. When you're in London, it's very commercial. You've got
mm,
all the shops, you know, shopping is the religion, shopping is the therapy.
yeah,
And it's the
yeah,
same all the time. It's very
absolutely.
hard to imagine if you're not obviously there's townies and there's country
Mm,
bumpkins, as we call them. You know, it's
yes,
there's a place for everybody, isn't there? But I definitely couldn't.
yes.
I've never lived in a city, actually. I've never
No,
wanted to.
no. I managed 3 months in London when I was in my late teens, and then I had to leave very quickly. So yes,
Yeah.
I haven't really done it either. I worked in London, and I enjoyed it at the time, but I could get out every day and get back to the
Yes.
countryside, you know. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody to their own, you know.
Exactly. I did
Mm,
enjoy my time working in London. It felt quite glamorous, jumping in and out of taxis and visiting
yeah.
clients and taking them to lunch. But as a permanent lifestyle, no, I prefer the
Mm,
wellies and the countryside and stomping with the dogs.
absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
cold and I don't do wet weather, so I'm not as hardy as you with the horses, where you have to be out.
No, no, you wouldn't do well in North Wales. We do get a lot of rain. Um, but it's part of the deal. So, you know, we appreciate it in different ways and are happy when the
Yes.
spring arrives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
So I started off by saying you and I had been on a long journey together,
mm,
and that's because we decided to rewrite the website from a member's point of view. And so you became our lead copywriter, and really sort of pulling apart every page and thinking, as a member, if I was
mm,
a prospect looking at the IAPC&M, is this what I would want to read? Where do I
yeah.
want to find things? So making it more, the navigation of it more user friendly. So where
Yeah.
are we in that project? Because it's been over a year. It's been a real labor of love.
Mm,
And
yes.
we are getting good feedback, because as the business director, I'm meeting prospects and I'm hearing good
Yeah.
things about the website, which I'm sure has been very
Yeah.
motivational for you. But what's it been like for you at the other end?
It's it's been it's been an amazing journey. Because I've got to work with you and other people at the IAPC&M, and that's been transformational for me. You know, when you're in any profession, if you get to mix with the right people, it boosts your confidence, it excites you about the industry. It has such a sort of was such a positive effect, I guess. So in
Mm,
that respect, it's been amazing. um, I've also discovered through doing this that I really enjoy writing, which
mm,
has been a really sort of knockoff um, benefit for, you know, an extra benefit for me. So, you know, now, of course, I'm doing some blog writing for the IAPC&M. I'm doing more blog writing for me and all those kind of things. Um, did the book writing course
I was
with
just going to
yourself and
say, of
Ruby.
course, you've written a book.
Yes, I'm in the editing stage now. That's a bit grueling as well, but hey. So, but no, so I've actually just really enjoyed kind of finding a voice in a way, in a different way. So it's been really transformational, actually, really
Mm,
transformational,
yeah.
and so satisfying when I get feedback from you that you're getting good comments and that sort of thing. And it makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it? Really, at the end of the day.
It does. It does.
Mm.
And you'll have seen our team grow exponentially in the last
Mm.
18 months or so, because you were
Yeah.
a young person in our team. And then 18 months later, you're like, well, you and I are the old hands, because we've got
Yeah.
so many new people. We've brought on Keisha Ann, who reads out your blogs for the people who are
Yes.
low sighted.
Yeah.
And we're working with B in the States, who's working on the graphics on the website. And I know that's been one
Mm.
of your frustrations, that you've not had complete control, because you are a great project manager, but you've had to also rely on different people and different
Mm.
time zones and different priorities. So yeah, it's been a big learning experience for all of us, hasn't it?
Yes, it really has, absolutely. And yes, because my background is corporate IT projects, it's a case of who's responsible for this, when are they going to do it by? And you kind of you've got the deadlines and the momentum, and it's a different world. So I've had to really kind of adapt my thinking and keep reminding myself that people are doing this out of love. You know, they're giving their
Yeah.
time, and not everybody can do everything just when you need it or want it doing. And so
Mm.
I've had to learn a little bit of patience, which doesn't always come naturally, not in a work context anyway. So yes, it's been good in that respect. Um, and there's such a lovely bunch of people. You know, that's the other thing is about doing this, is you get to mix with people you might not have got to know, or
Yes.
you don't get to spend time with. I've
Yeah.
had such fun hanging out with B on some web sessions where we're kind of redesigning the pages and coming up with the text and working together, and that's been such fun. And of course, as you say, Keisha Ann is reading the blogs, um, doing an amazing job. I love her
Mhm.
voice. I love the way she just brings it to life.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course we've got the people behind the scenes. We've got Petra
Mm,
who's formatting those audios, and Rhea who's uploading them. So yeah, it is a real team effort. But I think the website, I think the website, and I've said this to you before, Sue, it's a bit like the Fourth Bridge. It's an ongoing project. When you think you've finished, you start again. I don't think a website is ever perfect or
mm,
finished,
yeah,
because you get feedback about it all the time. The
yeah,
service evolves, things change. We've got a
yes.
branding guy as well who's really made everything
Oh,
look very sharp. All those little tweaks that
absolutely.
he's made that didn't cross
Mm,
my radar, just helps with the journey that somebody has from seeing us on social media to coming on the website to becoming a member, etc. So you've been instrumental in that. So
mm,
thank
mm.
you.
It's a pleasure. And of
No,
course, the good thing about, sorry, I was going to say, the good thing
yeah,
about the team growing is
yeah,
you can keep people in the roles. I love the phrase "only do what you can do." So Rhea
yeah.
is doing all this amazing graphic design and all that kind of thing.
Mm.
Bee's a whiz on the website, and so yeah, you've got a good bunch of people doing the things that they can do well, which
Mhm.
is ideal.
Yeah, I genuinely think we've got all the right people in the right roles, a great team
Mm,
of experts now, and we gel really well together. Hence, we have co-working, we have team meetings,
mm,
and the fact that we're all virtual is just a skill that we've learned. And COVID has obviously helped with that because we're used
yeah,
to now having meetings on Zoom and being much more relaxed. So if the cat wanders across the desk, or a child that
yeah,
wanders around in the background, none of that really matters.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
but of course, in line with that, you've also got your own business, She Means Business. So how is that going, Sue?
That's going really, really well. I've sort of got two strings to my bow. So the She Means business is a joint venture with a friend of mine who is a UK tax expert.
Mhm.
So
That's a good friend
we're running.
to
Yes,
have.
oh gosh, and she's been invaluable to me. Goodness me, that whole thing about having, when you start running your own business and you're having to upskill and learn all these different things, there's a limit to how much you can learn and take on board. So if you can find an expert like Kim who does all the tax stuff, it
Mm,
takes a certain amount of stress out of the situation. She's brilliant. So we've had great fun doing the free seminars. For us, it's a way of giving forward, giving something back. We do the free
yeah.
seminars, we do 3 or 4 a year. We started just over a year ago, and we just want to support women who want to be self-employed. Why?
Mhm,
Just because we enjoy the life so much,
mhm.
and there's so much talent, so many women out there, and men, of course, but we're
Yeah,
focused on the women because that's
yeah,
where our passion lies.
yeah.
So many people out there with so many skills, so much to offer. So yeah, we love doing that. And then separately, I also run my own coaching business where I'm coaching women in midlife. Women typically kind of in their late 40s, 50s, right through to sort of early 60s as well, but particularly in that midlife phase,
Mhm.
when they do what I did at that point in my life, they look ahead to the next 10 or 15 years, particularly as the government keeps extending the retirement age and thinking,
Yeah.
I thought I had another 10 years of work. Now I've got 15 or more. And I don't think I like the idea of another 10 or 15 years. living like I am at the moment. You know, I've got to this phase in my life and something needs to change.
Mm.
So I love helping those women because I went through that myself. You know, I'd had enough of stress, all that sort of thing, and I needed the help of a coach to sort of change things around, which is why I'm here coaching today. So I've certainly got the t-shirt and the passion to help to help people, you know, and I know it's possible to do it.
Yeah.
So
And what's the
yeah, so
common
I the
denominator, Sue, with the people that you help in that mid-range?
the common denominator is first of all their age, and is some event. It could be redundancy. Sometimes it's not work related. It could be divorce. Um, Usually it's a shift in a work situation.
Okay.
You know, women who've worked for so long, they've got to a particular point sort of in their career. They've done well, whether they would call it a career or a job, doesn't matter. They've done well, they've worked at it for years. And then
Mm.
maybe they switch to a different team, or they're encouraged to take a promotion and they find themselves in a slightly different dynamic, shall we say.
Mm.
Um, and all of a sudden it shakes them up. They don't gel in the new team. They don't like their new manager. It could be a geographical move means that they then need to find work in a new, work in their new sort of place where they live, in a new town, in a new area. So something's changed the dynamic at work, um, and sort of particularly redundancy is a really difficult one because that really shakes your confidence as well. So they've got this change in work dynamic and it's shaken their confidence. You know, I thought I was good at what I do, but I've been let go. I thought I
Mm.
was good at what I do, but yeah, I'm not getting on with my new manager. I'm not gelling in this team. I don't feel like I'm delivering, you
Mhm.
know, that kind of thing. So it often results in the knocking of their confidence. And then, of course, like I did at the time, you feel kind of trapped as your confidence leaks away. You just end up feeling really trapped,
Mm.
um, and it's
Okay.
hard to see the way out.
Yeah. So confidence and a feeling of being stuck or trapped is a real
Yeah.
common denominator amongst the women that you're supporting. And we're
Mm,
just
yeah.
embarking on the next exciting chapter of our lives, really, aren't we?
Absolutely. Oh, yes, yes. I kind of I believe I believe, although it doesn't feel like it at the time, but kind of midlife and the menopause and everything that comes with it to shake us up is a gift. It is a golden gift, but it can feel jolly uncomfortable at the time, you know,
Mm.
which is where somebody working with a coach or a mentor or all the other schemes and opportunities available in the workplace for people, you know, there's a lot of support out there. It's all there
Mm.
to help people see the
Yeah.
gift, I guess,
Yeah.
and do something with it. You know, I've had clients who, you know, one lady realised what she really wanted was to go off and write comedy. You know,
Ooh.
which is amazing. So, you know, she's still working but part time. She's acting. She's in writing groups. I just had a text from her the other day saying, "You really helped me put myself at the centre of my life," and she was telling me about
Mm.
everything she's doing. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's amazing. And other clients who've gone off to train to be a coach or started their own business, all that kind of thing, you know.
Yes.
It's great. It's a wonderful time to do it.
It is. I think you've got a very lovely niche to work with actually, because at that kind of age, we're more aware of who we are, what we
Mm-hmm.
want. The children have
Mm,
probably left, maybe they're at university, but they're
yeah.
not so much of a financial dependent on you. And you're probably more financially secure coming towards the end of your mortgage. So
Yeah.
you're entering this period of the next 20, 30 years thinking, well, I could do voluntary work, I could create my own business,
Mm,
I could retire and go around the world. I mean, retire is a funny thing. Retire from what? We're not
yeah.
retiring from life, but we're retiring from that particular thing that we've
Yeah.
been doing and
Yeah.
exploring what's the next great thing.
Absolutely. I think you've summed it up. What's the next great thing? You know,
Mm.
yeah, definitely. I had another lady that worked in the banking arena in project management.
Yeah.
and she was made redundant, and she was really lost. What am I going to do next? What she's doing now, she did some voluntary work. She's now working in a nursery, so many hours a week, a children's nursery. She's never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
So you never really know what the next thing might be sometimes. Sometimes you do have that, I've always wanted to do blah, or I've always wanted to, run my own.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got that feeling, but sometimes you don't. You can't see the way forward. But,
Yeah.
it's amazing what comes out during these coaching sessions, and what some of my lovely clients go on to do.
Yeah. And when you think about what we call the silver surfers, the grey market, whatever the term is now, that's where all the mentorship is happening, really, isn't it? Because they've come up through the ranks and they're an invaluable part of the economy.
Mm,
they should not be put out to grass, and yet some people are
no,
feeling that's
yeah,
it, their usefulness, their purpose is over. When in actual fact, you could say, and you would say in the Eastern
yes,
countries, it's just
absolutely.
beginning.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And of course, ageism is a thing. It's all around us, isn't it? On
Yeah.
social media and everywhere. But it starts internally. It starts with our own mindset. How are we limiting ourselves?
Mm,
Because we've got to a point in our lives, and we're expecting it's a time of loss almost. We're going
yeah.
to start losing our health, our opportunities, our motivation, all those kind of things. And yes, to a certain extent, there is a truth that as we get older, as my husband says, bits start dropping off, metaphorically speaking, you know. But
Yeah.
but it's also a time of opportunity. There's so much we have to offer, like you said, and it's a shame to let
Yeah.
all that go to waste.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Well, I'm right behind you, Sue. Anything you can do to help people, embrace the next great thing, the next
mm,
exciting chapter, just because we live in an ageist society where we
yeah,
think, you've served your purpose and we want to bring in the younger generation. Until that changes, until we learn to appreciate the wisdom and the knowledge and our elder generations, I think people
mm,
like you are the champions, so well done. And
mm.
anything we can do to support that, we're here for you. So, what's your book about, by the way? You're going through the
Okay,
editing stage. What's the title, and when can
yeah,
people expect it to get it on the market?
okay. The book is called Midlife Your Way, which is what the name of my coaching program is.
Hmm.
So the book accompanies the program in effect, although they don't have to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Um, and it's the journey of a woman basically who will start with that realization that something isn't right, something needs to change. It might be stress, exhaustion, all those things, traumatic events like, as I said, redundancy or divorce. So it goes through the coaching phase, which is okay, where are we now? I
Mm,
want people to realize and understand the skills they've got, the experience they've got, all those things that are good that they want to take with them into the next phase of their life. Um,
mhm,
Assessing where they are work wise, um, what do they want to do? Not what could they do necessarily. They could go and get another job doing what they're doing with another company, for example. But what is it that should be different for them to find joy and happiness for the next few years? And all about the mindset. How do you keep motivated? How do you kind of develop a mindset for success? Keep driving yourself forward and keep believing in yourself. So
mm,
it's all about that journey from something's not right to okay, I know where I want to go now. And now I know how to make it work. I know how to do the planning. I know how to keep reviewing, keep myself accountable. So it's a self-help book in its own
mm,
right, but it sort
mm.
of accompanies I hope it will give people a bit of a flavor for who I am and how I work, because you have to find the right coach for you. There'll be,
Yeah.
probably hundreds of other coaches around the world who do what I do,
Mm,
but you've got to find the right coach for
mhm.
you.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Exactly. And
so
that's
I
why
hope
we
that will
encourage
help people.
clients do their due diligence, because
Mm,
you interview them the same as you would interview any other profession that you're about to hire and
exactly.
share money with. Um,
Yes.
So I think your book will be potentially a client magnet and open doors to speaking gigs and getting people onto your program, at which, you know, is where you bring
Mm,
the book to life. And
yeah.
I think from what you've just described, that's one of the reasons why I love the months that we spend in Marbella, because it's those sorts of people who have had their own businesses, who have retired from working a 9 to 5 or a much
Yeah.
longer day if they were in their own business. But they have got so much get up and go for the next chapter of their life. They are
Yes.
they're not sat at home having a glass of wine watching TV, trying to stay warm in the UK. They're out here, they're surfing, they're skiing, they're Nordic
Wow.
walking, they're joining societies. And I always think this is a great place actually if you're a single woman for
Mm,
whatever reason, you know, you're a widow
right.
or you're a divorcee, you would never feel alone because there are so many like-minded people and
Right.
activities. There's a very strong Finnish community, a big Irish community, obviously lots of English people, but there's people from all over Europe escaping the colder weather who
Right.
are very active. You know, we play paddle, which is like a
Wow.
tennis
Okay.
type program
Mm,
activity. We're very active, and I think we embody a lot of what you've been talking about. Do something different. Of course, some of us come here and we have our own businesses, something we've always wanted to do but couldn't do before.
right.
So I
Right.
think yeah, I can see that coming to life here in the south coast of Spain, and you're just opening the door to people saying, well, there is another chapter. You don't have to stay at home and look
Mm,
after the
yeah.
grandchildren, which is what people used to do
Mm,
automatically. They would
mm,
pave the way for their children to go out to work by taking the grandchildren on as unpaid
yeah.
babysitters. People
Yeah.
don't want to do that anymore.
No, no, absolutely. I agree. And I think it's one of the natural phases that, you know, when for the first part of your life, you may be raising a family, and obviously not everybody decides to do that, but you're very much focused on your career and you're building your life and you're getting to know yourself and all those things. But it's you're much more of a as a woman, I think I believe you're a much more of a sort of a caring mentality, and you
Mm,
naturally you yourself slip to the bottom of your list. So by the
mm,
time you come to midlife and the hormones change and maybe you're a bit more ready to tune into what you want,
mm.
quite often you've also sometimes forgotten how to do that a little bit, you know. So
Yeah.
it's but luckily, as you say, there's so many more options for people now. You know, I love
Mhm.
the sound of the lifestyle you've just painted a picture of there.
Mm.
Healthy, opportunity, all those things, you know. It's amazing.
Yeah. Adds more life to your years and more years to your life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's lovely. I like that.
Yeah. Well, it's been lovely spending time with you, Sue. I always enjoy the time we
Oh,
spend together. I've loved working with you and we'll continue to work together on improving the website and writing blogs together. We kind
yeah,
of do each other's editing of blogs. Uh, so you know, we will spend more time together, but less now that the website's nearly finished.
yeah.
You'll be working more with Keisha Ann, but yeah. So I just wanted to have
Mm,
these opportunities to put the team out there. As I said, we've grown exponentially in the last 18 months, so the members know who we are.
mm,
And you know, if you've got a blog that you would like to have linked to your directory profile, by all means send it to Sue or I, and we will just tweak it a little bit to make sure it's SEO
mm,
friendly. We're here to support you in any practical way we can. And you can find Sue if you are somebody that we've just described who's about to embark on the next chapter of their life, then Sue is obviously the confidence coach for you to approach, and you can find her on the directory or through the contact page or your own website, which is
confidencefirstcoaching.com.
lovely. Does
I'm
what
on
it says
social
on the
media as well under the same name, and there's links in the bio, all the usual things. So yeah, but confidencefirstcoaching.com. Thank you, Dawn. And
lovely.
yes,
Thank
I
you.
look forward to doing more good things with you. It's been lovely working with you and everybody else. And yeah, it It's good. It's a good life.
It is. It's a good life. I think that's one of the beauty of coaching. Have internet, have wheels, you can travel, you can coach anytime, anywhere. It is a really rewarding career, isn't it?
It is absolutely, yes, it's the best.
Yeah,
You know, to wake up every day thinking, yeah, I get to do this again, you know,
yeah,
and it's genuinely how I feel, even after the 3 o'clock in the mornings of, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? And what do I need to do? What difference? All that kind of stuff, all the
yeah,
marketing things, you know, that's always the
yeah,
challenge. But
yeah.
despite all that, yeah, lovely, love the life. It's wonderful. So,
Good. Well, you
and
enjoy the
yeah,
rest of your day.
thank
I know
you.
it's
And you too.
reasonably dry and sunny in Snowdonia, so perhaps you'll get out and enjoy a walk.
I think so. Yes, I think I should do that. Yeah. Thank you, Dawn. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.